Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty.
Took a
Well,
second.
we
I
are
was
now
in the
joined
lobby.
by
I
our
think
race.
on hold. Y'all got good. Go ahead.
Well, congratulations on the win. We're now joined by our race winner, Brad Keselowski, driver of the number 2 Western Star Alliance Parts Ford. Brad, can you just walk us through your race today to kick it off?
Yeah, I mean, just a great car and a great team effort. I was able to get in a really good rhythm at certain points in the race and just kind of take control, and that felt really good. First kind of, it's our third win of the year, but first kind of win where we've just kind of been able to take control of the race, and gosh, that feels good. I feel so good. I'm proud of my team, proud of Jeremy Bones and the way things have been kind of coming together. Still, a lot of racing left in this season, and gosh, I would love to make a run of this championship. I'm dying to get the second championship, and we've been, knocking on the door the last few years, and had some run-ins and some bumps and bruises, but it looks like we'll have a shot at it this year, and I'm really thrilled to death about that.
All right. Well, we are going to open up the floor for questions for Brad. If you have a question, please raise your hand in the participants tab, and we are going to kick it off with Jim Utter. Go ahead with your question, Jim.
Congrats, Brad.
Thank you.
After the race, you mentioned the fact that Jeremy, working with Jeremy Bowens and this team has, in some ways you felt, given you a kick in the butt as far as making you even better. I just wondered, is that something you realized after some period of time working with them, and what's the advantage for you in getting that and feeling that way?
Well, Jim, I've had a great team since I've been here in Cup, and I think that sometimes being great, what do they say, good is the enemy of great, and sometimes I've allowed myself to fall into that good category, and good isn't good enough. So, this has been a really good challenge for me. It's, in a lot of ways removed some sacred cows in the ways I approach things, and I think that's a good thing. The low downforce on the cars this year, I think, is really clicking with me on the short tracks, which is good. And like I said, just kind of to remove the sacred cows from me and my way of thinking, and I think that can be really healthy.
And you mentioned about how important it was to get a dominating type of win today. You also did it by kind of outdueling for much of the race Denny Hamlin, who obviously had one of the best teams so far this season. Was that sort of an added bonus?
Yeah, I try not to focus on who you beat. Is just making sure that you beat everybody. I always feel like, Jim, if you worry or focus on one car, you don't focus on them all. And I would rather finish second and lose to a car we really wanted to beat than finish 39th and beat them. So we want to beat them all. And certainly they've been good. They deserve a lot of respect, the 11 car, but I try not to focus on any one team. So just going to be thankful for the day we had today, the effort our team has put in, and they deserve a lot of credit. I feel like I drove a really strong race, was able to get in nice rhythms at certain times, and like I said, dictate kind of the pace and make a difference. So that felt really good.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Our next question will come from Kelly Crandall. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thank you. Brad, I have two. The first is, racing with Denny like that, you guys swapped the lead multiple times today. Is that enjoyable from behind the wheel?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. He was pretty good on the, restarts and those real short runs, and we were really good on the longer runs. And the PJ1 kept coming and going, Kelly. One lap it would be in or not in, and next lap it would be in, and then it would wear off the racetrack. And then the low downforce on the cars was awesome because you could run behind somebody and not just be stupid slow. So that was really cool. And I thought we put on a great race. I was really proud of it, and proud of it for a sport and proud of it for a team. I also am proud of it for my team because we won, but proud of it for a sport because we got away from rules that didn't make for good races, and we went to rules that I think made for good driver battles, and Danny and I had a heck of a driver battle.
And then secondly, you mentioned that hunt for this second championship. In such a unique season that all of you teams are having to adapt to, what is it going to mean for a team that wins the championship or maybe can just even get to the Final Four?
Yeah, it's certainly a challenge.
Okay. You
Today
getting the
was
Zoom okay? What? You getting the Zoom okay?
Yeah, I'm getting it just great. I don't know who you guys can hear me all right? Hello?
We got you.
All right. Somebody was talking. I don't know what I was talking about. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question now?
No problem. What is it just going to mean for a team to make the Final Four in such a unique season like this, and
right.
a team that might win the championship?
Well, I think races like today are a perfect example of it. PJ1 on the racetrack has 0 laps on it. Super treacherous. Then on top of that, no practice. No idea how your car's going to drive. And you got to fire off into that corner, and you got to find a way to make it stick where the guy behind you is, and he's going to beat you. And I'll tell you, it's just a heck of a challenge, Kelly. It's I've never done anything like that. And you got to unload out the gate and be ready to go. And we're coming off a season last year where we had high downforce on the short tracks, at least, and the cars had a lot of grip. Now it's the opposite. Cars don't have very much grip at all, Kelly. And you start throwing all these things at the drivers, no practice, PJ1, low downforce. And I think you're back to seeing the drivers really stand out and be able to showcase their talent in the Cup Series. And I'm just glad to be a part of it. And, of course, glad to win a race in it.
All right, we're going to take our next question from Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob.
You talked about no practice. Do you really know what your fuel mileage is with no practice?
You have some guesses based off of previous data. I mean, do you know it precisely, Bob? No, but you have some rough numbers. And then you do get numbers off of in-race, right? So in-race, you can do math and work it backwards, and our team does a great job at that. And a lot of others do too.
And I know you watch other sports and probably talk to athletes from other sports. You're in the middle of your kind of silly season free agency. Just how different is it in NASCAR versus like maybe it would be in football or baseball when we talk about drivers trying to get rides and you have this whole sponsor element put in?
Yeah, it's certainly been much different than years, previously in my career, Bob. Nobody likes it. There's nobody really winning. I can tell you that. So, you try to keep perspective. I still, I've got a great job. There's a lot of people who don't have a job at all. I don't think that what they want to do is hear me whine about, mine. But then again, I do recognize that if my contract had fallen differently, I would probably be in a much better place with respect to, when it ran out time-wise. But it's part of it. The landscape is very strange, not just because of the virus, but I think one of the things that really stands out that's changed the landscape is, the threshold that you have to, or the bar, so to speak, that you have to pass as a driver to be eligible for the Cup Series has been, lowered pretty significantly since I've been a part of the sport. And that's starting to bring a wave of kind of paid drivers, so to speak, drivers that pay for their ride. And that really does a lot of damage to the contract market, and when there's drivers out there that, are willing to pay for your ride, let alone, you getting paid, they're willing to pay to take your ride. That really changes the marketplace pretty dramatically. And so, that's been part of it too. But all in all, again, I'm thankful I have a spot in the sport and hopefully it'll last for a long time. If it doesn't, I know I did all I could do.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, our next question will come from Jeff Gluck. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Brad. I'm just wondering, you've got 2 shots at Michigan next week coming up now. What's your mentality going into there?
I'm freaking pumped, Jeff. We've been really running well. I haven't quite executed perfectly until this weekend. This was one of the race. I think we'll have a great shot of doing it just that at Michigan. Competition is going to be really tough. I think we all know how good Harvick is on those really big tracks. And I'm going to have to be perfect to beat him. So I'm thrilled that I have the opportunity with a car that has been fast, and we'll see how it plays out.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, and we're going to wrap it up with Brad with a question from Jordan Bianchi. Go ahead, Jordan.
Brad, I have two questions for you. One, you've had years before 2015, I'm thinking about particularly, where you've been dominant, led a lot of laps, but you didn't have a lot of victories, only one that year. How do you process that? Are you frustrated, or do you look at it in the fact that, performance-wise, we're doing everything we can, just didn't work out?
Yeah, it was a strange year. I felt like we led a ton of laps and always fell apart at the end, which was really frustrating. But, it comes and goes that way. I've had other races and seasons. I think probably 2011 stands out, where we won 3 races and barely led any laps. So, you kind of ride that roller coaster and accept it for what it is. But 2015 was tough that way, without a doubt.
Second question is, are you talking to other teams right now, or are you just focusing on talking to Penske about your contract?
I don't have anything signed at the moment. I'm hopeful to be real close, and I'll wait until that's done before saying anything.
Thank you.
No problem, Jordan.
All right, Brad. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on the win. We'll see you at your home track next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.